So if anybody's similar to me, that means you follow a lot of dogs on social media. I love following that monkey that just carries things, tons of dogs. I'm not even a cat person, but if I see a cat automatically on my For You page, I will just follow it just because I love any type of animal content I'm gonna follow. But that means I get emotionally connected to every single little animal friend that I find on social media. And then I absolutely cannot stand when my heart shatters when I see that specific post saying, "Little Frollo the monkey is dead." My heart shatters. My boyfriend has caught me crying at times. And I always say, I wish you guys could give us a little bit of a warning, especially if they were kind of ill, to kind of, warm me up a little bit before my virtual little animal friend just drops dead. So this is that video. But also my dog is not dead. Okay, wait. Let me just explain everything. So I figured I would come on here and explain a few things just in case anything does happen quite soon with my little Yoshi. It's not a heartbreaking shock. So I don't know if you guys are like me in that case when like one of the animals he follows dies, but I personally would love for just a little, just so you know, little Rufus is a little sick. Not saying people have to, it just, I like when they do that because then I'm kind of aware. So many people always ask me, hey Michelle, you have a pug. Do you notice, does she get any of the pug related illnesses or issues that most pugs have? In fact, I get a few people demanding that I tell people the truth about my pug, and she can't breathe. And if there was something wrong with Yoshi, I would most definitely tell you guys, but that hasn't been my experience with Yoshi. I hear a lot of people say their pug can't even walk outside, can't breathe outside, just collapses. And that's not my experience with Yoshi. Yoshi, when she was younger, she would do 5 miles with me. We would do sprints together because she was a very active pug, and I got a pug because they were supposed to be the chunky little things that lay on the couch. Not Yoshi. She's up all the time. She's curious. She wants to walk. She wants to run, play fetch, all that stuff. So I haven't had any problems with Yoshi, but now our little gremlin, well, she's about to hit the big O 1-2. 12 years old. And she's slowing down, and it always freaks me out, and I'm always very just paying attention to little things that she does. And she started to sneeze more frequently. I've never had her really sneezy coughy. She's never been like that. Took her into the vet. They were like, well, she's a pug. That's what pugs do. So I'm like, okay, guess this is just a new thing she does. She's an older pug. She's getting sneezy and snotty. And so then I started noticing she's kind of just didn't want to go walking. So I brought her into the vet, and they said, well, she's an older pug. This is what they do. They're not athletic. And I'm like, well, Yoshi's always been athletic. She's been overweight once. You've seen the pictures. But after that, even when she was bigger, she always wanted to run. And especially now that she's a very slim pug, she's pretty active. But I was like, okay, she is older, and I'm gonna listen to the vet. Then one day while I'm sitting on the couch, Yoshi just sparks up from her little bed and walks over to me, has this big sneeze, and blood just sprouts out everywhere. And I'm like, yep, 2 a.m. in the morning, we are still gonna go. We're gonna go to emergency. I didn't say it that calmly. I actually started screaming and crying instantly, calling over my boyfriend. He thought somebody died. And we went to the vet, and the vet says, oh, well, it's hot outside. She's a pug. This is normal. And I'm thinking, out of 12, almost 12 years, Yoshi's never had a bloody nose. I didn't know that was part of a pug thing. Pug people out there, your guys' pug's nose is always bleeding everywhere. I've never had Yoshi have a bloody nose, but I was like, okay, I guess that's a pug thing now. And it was hot outside and it was dry outside. But at the same time, we lived in Arizona where it was 120 degrees outside, and Yoshi loved being outside. And she never had a bloody nose, but I listened to the vet again. Then all of a sudden we started noticing, we went to a party and we always bring the dog. Yoshi's a very social dog, she loves people. And during the party, she would not sit down ever, and she would do this thing where she's like this. And we were like, oh, Yoshi's so cute. She just doesn't want to go to sleep because she loves people and she'd rather socialize. Well, she started doing the same thing at home, where she would just lay down for a very little bit, then wake up and just get up and stand there and just kind of doze off and then collapse and then wake back up. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. And then one night, again, middle of the night or early in the morning, 2 a.m., and Yoshi sprouts up and she's gasping for air. Then she sprints over to me, another sneeze, and blood is everywhere. And I'm like, okay, this is is not normal. There's no way that this is normal. So I had to go in, demand people like into the ER and tell them, look, people have been saying that this is normal for my pug and it's not. I need to do something other than what you've been doing and look at my pug and see what's going on. So they actually got me into a specialist, which did a scan on Yoshi. They were like, this is not completely normal. And then they had to call us in and tell us that Yoshi has cancer somewhere in her face that is starting to press on certain things and it's blocking her nasal patches, which is why she's gasping for air. So we were ready to put Miss Yoshi down. Like, she was struggling. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't lay down. The only time she could actually, like, it was days where she couldn't fall asleep, and I'm like, that's not a way to live. Like, I need to go put this girl away and put her to rest and just let it go. Because I mean, can you imagine not being able to sleep? You can't breathe, you know, like, I would want to die. So we were pretty much ready to be like, okay, I guess this is it. Like, we gotta freaking put my dog down. Great. So that was horrible. Everybody was crying. I was depressed, but also I never want to be in that position where I'm keeping my dog alive just for my own enjoyment or my own personal, like, oh, I can't let go, you know, like, I can let go. I personally would be like, dude, can you kill me? I need to breathe. I don't know. I guess other people said that pugs can't breathe. Yoshi's always been able to breathe, run, always wants to play fetch. And even during when she couldn't like breathe, when she laid down, like laying down made it worse. Even when she was in that state where she couldn't sleep, anything like that, she could eat. Yoshi always can eat. There's never been a time where Yoshi doesn't want to eat. She always wants to eat. But she was still playing. So it was weird. She would still go up to people. She was still wagging her tail. It's just when she would try to go to sleep, she wouldn't be able to breathe. And then she would, you know, gasp for air and then stand up and just not be able to lay down until she would collapse again. And then the only time she really were able to sleep is when she would fall asleep with her favorite pig, Dr. Evil Pork Chop, and she would fall asleep through it in her mouth. And so then when she would sleep, she'd breathe through her mouth. So we would try to like shove the pig in there when she would like sleep or like lay down, and she just was like, no. Like, she wasn't getting it. It just had to happen naturally. So anyway, we are on the point where the vet calls us in and she says, I mean, I could already tell what she was gonna say. I'm like, I knew it was cancer. I already know it's something that's like a lot. She said the only thing to do is to either go through chemo or go kill her, pretty much. And then I was like, oh, we're gonna go through chemo. If this was my kid, I would try to do anything and everything to try and make it work. So we did the whole thing. It took a week. Unfortunately, the only vet that has this machine is like an hour and a half away from us and in heavy traffic. So this is an all week, all day process. But there was no side effects except for diarrhea on the last day and a little bit of dry nose that if I'm responsible, all I have to do is put that little cream on it and it gets a lot better. So I just wanted to update you guys because that whole process was about a year and a half ago. It worked great. She could breathe again. She's playing again. She plays fetch. She loves people. She's acting like her normal self, except for the fact that she really has no time for anything. And if I'm 5 minutes late for her breakfast or her dinner, she will scream at the top of her lungs. Like, her near-death experience has told her that she has no time to wait for food, and she makes sure the whole house knows that. But like I said, this was a year ago or a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, and the vet said that she will probably last a year and then she'll probably pass away. Well, she's still doing great, but I started noticing that there was that sneeze again, and then again I brought them to like the basic vet and they're saying, no, she's probably fine. And I should have just kept egging on. I should have just taken her to the specialist. And the second time, I did take her to the specialist. And the guy says, well, her nose airflow is fine. Well, then a week later, she starts gasping for air again. I'm like, I knew it. Because the vet is so far away, I should have just, this is a tip I want to give to you. If you know your fur baby, your human baby, anything, you like, I feel like the people that take care of them the most, they know. Because I cannot stand seeing like my babies or like human baby, anything. I don't want to see them struggle. So I should have just fought for it and been like, no, just do the scan so we can make sure that she's okay. And so by the third time we go up there, and they did find that her tumor was back to the previous size that it was a year ago before she got the radiation. So they suggested either let her run her course and die, or we can do the radiation again, which once again, it hits that one point, and she did great last time. I'm hoping that she does great this time, and that's why we are in a hotel, because last time all the driving and the sitting in the car killed my ass, wasted a lot of time, and I got no work done. So we got a hotel. It's me and Yoshi time for the next 2 days, and then my boyfriend said that he'll take her for the last 3. But instead of making this a super sad video, come with me and I'm gonna show you guys around the hotel, take you through some workouts, and then of course show you Yoshi and take her through her whole week of little pug radiation. Yoshi's going absolutely everywhere to explore. Won't even let me take off her leash. What are you doing? Come here. I feel like someone peed on me, but oh my god. Rigby, kiss me again. I'm closing it. Just melted.
Last day, I gotta go.
You don't move. It's like nothing.
Hello, so Yoshi just got, or not just got done, it's been months since we got her thing done and I haven't finished like filming an ending and just the update, but that's okay because it's been a while since we did the whole Yoshi, what did she get, chemo? No, radiation. Forgetting radiation thing, so I can give you guys a full review of the radiation. So the first time she got radiation, I noticed she had results pretty much like she was back to normal that day, like the first day. When we first got her the medication, we saw a huge difference. Then we got the radiation, we saw a big difference. This time, and she's back to normal, kind of, but we still see little things, like she has a new sneeze that I don't like. I have misophonia, and so it's like a reoccurring sneeze where she goes like, like that, and I'm like, maybe stop. Don't do that noise. Like, she's done it so much and I'm like, ugh, I hate that sound. What else? Is there anything else that we noticed, or is that the only thing?
That's it. Yeah, we don't know if that was because of that or if she went to the dog.
Oh yeah, we still don't know if, well, she still kind of does it.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know if she was doing it because we got back from Disney and we didn't know if she picked up something from the kennel that she was in, or the dog hotel, but they throw them in kennels. Because we noticed that she was kind of doing that after we came home from Disney. So that was really the only thing though that we've noticed, the different sneeze. We do notice that she's got a little bit more spice in her. She's very demanding all the time. Like I said, now I can't remember what I said in the beginning of this vlog, but every single morning she will just pug scream. It doesn't matter, she will just pug scream forever until you come down. And then I'll hear her from upstairs, she'll be screaming, then it will stop. I'm like, oh, did she stop? No, you'll hear, because her throat's a little dry from screaming, and then she'll get closer to the stairs and start screaming more so I can hear her a little bit more clear. So she's very demanding. I don't think that's the radiation's fault. I think that she's just a cranky old lady. The other thing, and this, I don't think it's radiation, I think it's just she's a cranky old lady and she ain't got time for that anymore, is her walking. We used to walk like 1 mile to 5 miles, like 1 mile minimum, 5 miles maximum if I didn't work out. And now our whole walk is, I put her leash on, she slowly walks down the stairs in the front of the house, she smells a little bit outside, looks around the neighborhood, and she turns her ass back and walks inside. It's like she's saying, yeah, absolutely not. Those are her walks. Sometimes when I can walk, it's actually pretty sad because like I'll have to do that first and I'm like, wow, look how far you've fallen, Yoshi. And then I walk the Chihuahuas and they're all have a pep in their step and everything and we walk 1 to 2 miles. But the thing is, I think she just doesn't like her walks. She plays, runs, goes up the stairs, follows me to room, and she's not limping, she's not going slow, she's walking at her normal pace all day. So I think she's just tired of the walks and doesn't really want to go. So I just kind of let her do her thing and make sure to monitor her food because you don't want to be obese and old and cancer. Those are like 2 things you don't want. So I kind of just let her do her thing. I'll take her on little sniff walks. That's usually what it is in the morning. That's it. But she's doing good. She's 12 years old now. I did scare people on accident on Instagram. I got so many messages saying, is Yoshi dead? Because we took a picture of her in the kitchen and the sun shines ever so nicely in there where she likes to sunbathe. So she'll just lay in the kitchen or sit in the kitchen waiting for treats to fall on the floor. She just ended up just sitting there and she looked like so fat, so chunky, so hopeful for some extra food. While I was cooking, we took a picture and I framed it and I clean pretty much every day. And if I clean, I like to do the celebratory candles and I have candles around her picture and I took that picture because it looks really, really cute. And then I put it on Instagram and I got a flood of messages saying, did Yoshi freaking die? And then the next slide was, guys, Yoshi didn't die, just so you know. And my friends were like, Michelle, it's the candles. And I'm like, okay, she's not dead though. So yeah, she's doing just fine. I know the day will come where she's dead or dies, drops dead, she passes away. She's coming over you. She just walks and she had a really good fulfilled life. I just think that I have to do everything I can possible to make sure she's comfortable, make sure she's, happy to the point where, I don't like the screaming in the morning. I'll feel better like after she passes if I did everything I could to get, oh my God, hold on. She's killing the presents. Like I said, she's still a very active pug, even though she's cranky and she knows she's not supposed to touch the presents and she still will do that. Not the best trained pug. The Chihuahuas are better trained than Yoshi. Yoshi don't give a fuck anymore. I also think she's going blind and deaf. We're not too sure exactly though. I call her and she doesn't move at all. But there are times that I open a bag of something and she comes skipping in like a little puppy. So I don't know. I'm still not exactly sure. Garrett says she's hard of hearing. I don't know. I just don't think she wants to come around when I call her unless there's food involved. But other than that, little Yoshi, she's doing great. She's happy. She's got her attitude still. She's got her spunk. She's got some fight in her. And the people at, what is the place called? Vet company? VCA are amazing. They seem to really like her a lot. Whenever we bring her in, they're like, Yoshi! They all know her and she's doing really good. So thank you to anybody that was asking. She's doing great and I'll make sure to tell you guys too, not immediately when she passes away, but I would tell you guys eventually. I might do like little pictures with Yoshi so that her spirit can stay alive, or like I'll do a green screen so then she can still continue to be in the videos. Like I want to do a green screen where she's looking down at me from heaven or up from hell, whichever one. I don't know, you pick, Yoshi. You need to be a good girl. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Yoshi, do you have anything to say? Nope, she don't. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yoshi, give me a kiss. Yoshi, give me a kiss. She going to hell. Well, it's been a year from that video. The tree is up again, as you can see, and everything. Honestly, every time I filmed a video, I didn't really want to post it because Yoshi would do super well after radiation. Posting about it would probably jinx it. So you know how you know your animal, or if you have kids, you know your kid more than anyone. You spend so much time with them. They're always around. You know their mannerisms, the way they move, the way they breathe. Well, recently I would notice a little bit of a difference in the way Yoshi was breathing, even her movement, and my body could feel it because I was extremely anxious and on edge the moment I noticed just a slight change in the way that she was working her body. Then I noticed that she was standing different. When I would take her outside, she kind of would flop out the door to go to the bathroom, and she was very adamant about her doing it herself. So I would let her do it herself and I would catch her and then place her outside rather than her possibly hurting her little chin or her head. Then during bathroom breaks, I started having to hold her up so she wouldn't fall into her poop. Her legs were just super weak. Then one day when I peered downstairs, I see all my dog's little faces smiling up at me, and I walk down there ready to give them their 625,000th kiss of the day, and Yoshi looks at me and does and all this blood just splatters everywhere. So much blood comes out of her nose. And we make an appointment with her vet, and thank goodness they could get her in the very next day. Usually that's really hard to get appointments. I don't know if they knew that Yoshi needed help or what, but you know, she got the appointment the next day. And after the first initial like sneeze, the blood stopped. So I was like, okay, we don't have to go to emergency. She can hold out until tomorrow. Well, Yoshi really had other plans, because she always does, because 10 o'clock that night, I hear that sneeze, and then I hear Garrett, who was gaming, say, I think I need to take my dog to the emergency. And I walk downstairs, just tons of blood all over the place. And so we took her, and of course it's the middle of the night. The emergency room is just full of really sad families, so many crying families in the waiting room holding their babies. There was one that stuck out to me. The dog is wrapped up in this blanket, and they go to the front desk, and the front desk asks what's wrong. And of course the younger girl says, she just has no more life in her. And I'm like, dang it, can you guys stop? Like, it was very sad. I didn't love it. I hated it. And I watched them go back down this hallway, and they come back without her. And I'm like, her name was Cookie. And I'm like, that's what they do. You just walk down that hallway, and then they kill her, and then you leave with nothing. Fortunately for Yoshi that night, the doctor gave us some pills to help stop the bleeding. She also gave anxiety pills so then Yoshi could sleep and she'd be calm to relax her. And after Yoshi took the pills, she was completely fine. She seemed happier. She was walking around. We had this nice moment the next day where I took her out of her little cage. If you follow me on Instagram, we put saran wrap all around her cage so that if she started bleeding, she wouldn't be in the spray zone. And Rigby was very adamant about sleeping right next to his buddy. If you didn't know, they are cuddle buddies. Rigby loves to sleep with her, next to her, on top of her. He's always all over Yoshi and just likes to cuddle with Yoshi a lot. And this little boy just had to be next to her the whole time she was in that cage. But after she got the pills, she was happier, she was relaxed. We took her out, the bleeding stopped and everything. Her little question mark tail was wagging at me, and she even reached for a toy and wanted to play until she didn't want to play anymore. And then she started vomiting blood. And then once I picked her up and put her back in her little murder cage, I saw the nostril that never bleeds blood, like just blood gushing out. And she seems very frustrated that she can't play, or she can't stand, or she can't see because she's losing vision in one of her eyes. And the way that she was looking at me, she starts to kind of whimper a lot, and then she's just kind of looking at me in the face, and she's just telling me that I think it's the time to say bye. And then she started really pug screaming at me, and I said, okay, look, I'll pick it up, we will go. So we got her all wrapped up in her little blanket in bed, and we got her all comfortable in the car. We cooked up some beef for her. If you didn't know, Yoshi could never eat beef. She would always throw up immediately after she would eat it, but I figured, this is the time to eat it for her. So we cooked it up with all the seasoning and everything. We drove to the emergency. We walked down that same aisle that Cookie and her family walked down, and we got to take as much time as we wanted with her. Sorry, my throat is now swelling up, but we took as much time as we wanted. We got to feed her a lot, but I didn't want to take too much time because it did feel like she was just in pain. But she made sure to eat that beef. She was looking it up. She was very happy, and I got to hold her the whole time. And then
went to sleep. It was really peaceful. It was really special to me. It was really a lot to feel her alive and then feel her just leave. And then watching them take her away, it was a lot. So like we sat there, we both cried forever. And honestly, I knew she was planning on dying during the holidays. She knows how much I like it. And here we are. That's what she decided to do. But before they took her away, I still sat there with her for a little bit, and Garrett took her final picture. I was super scared to look at it, but for some reason it brings me so much peace, because not only does she look like she's having the best sleep of her life, and I can tell that she was struggling for like the last couple, like 2 days, but at the same time it helps me because she was old. She was not in, you know, the best shape anymore. She was just really old, and I think she was getting frustrated / depressed because she couldn't do the things that she used to do, and she was extremely ready, and we were all ready to say goodbye because she was ready to say goodbye to us and go bother my other dogs that are up in doggy heaven. So we were driving home after it all, you know, it was over, and this was the song that was playing when we got into the car, and I had to instantly download it now. Baby takes the morning train. It's like me and Yoshi's song. And we got home and it was very weird. Butters was waiting at me right at the garage door, and Rigby was in his usual spot of being on the carpet because he doesn't like touching the cold floor, but there was no Yoshi, and it was just so much. And Garrett was like, just go upstairs, let me clean up everything. It was cleaning up all the blood, and I was like, okay, I'll just go relax and change into my Yoshi's dead now, I'm empty inside outfit. And when I came down the stairs, I instantly started bawling because one, I didn't see the normal 3 faces that I usually see, obviously, but what I did see was Rigby and Butters in Yoshi's bed, in her designated bed that she usually sleeps in before we put her into her little blood splattering cage. And she was in this specific bed before she passed away, when I thought everything was good and she was trying to play and she was walking around, her little question mark tail was going on. She slept in that bed again. And when I looked down, these two who never cuddle together are like sleeping in her little bed, which made me feel a lot of things. But other than that, they're doing really great. I was really stressed that they were going to be depressed or something. I think they know that she's gone. I'm making sure to be extra fun with them. We've been taking them a lot of places. Yoshi didn't do very well in the car, so I wouldn't really take anyone with me, and if I did, it would be only one, so that Yoshi wouldn't be alone. But now that Yoshi is flying above or below, I'm not too sure with that little diva, but now I'm just trying to make sure that I focus on them, make it happy, make sure that it's not super different, and if it is different, it's different in a good way. So we've been going to Petco. I've been taking them to, he knows the P word. We've been going to the other P word, P-A-R-K. We've been going everywhere. Anything that's dog friendly, I try to take them, and they're super, well, he's super excited. Butters is scared, but he gets treats, so he's happy about that. But I was gonna delete all those old videos, all those old vlogs that you just watched, because in my head I was saying, I don't wanna put anything depressing on YouTube, but I think that was more of just like me projecting that I don't want to have those emotions, and if I just don't say anything, then it's not real. But obviously any pet parent or anyone living knows that there's always an end, especially if you have a pet. They usually don't outlive you, especially if we're talking about dogs and cats. So I'm really happy I didn't delete those videos. I was having trouble posting them or even editing them. Garrett's doing all of that. I'm not gonna do it yet, but I'm really happy that I didn't do that, because after it was all done, I had a lot of thoughts, and one of those thoughts or feelings is like extreme guilt. I feel like I murdered her, and I feel like I put 0% effort into saving her life, and I feel like a shitty dog mom. But I did look back, like Garrett called me over to look back at some of the footage, and when I looked back at all the footage and the videos and the pictures, I could tell that I loved her a lot, and I did put up a lot of fight in her with trying to save her and making sure she had a good life. I was super stressed out that I didn't think I took enough pictures of her, but we have so many memories, tons of memories. And the doctor originally, when we first did the radiation, he gave her 6 months to live, and Yoshi said absolutely not. There are so many treats that I didn't have yet. And we got a good 3 years out of her. Like the last couple of days were bad, but out of all of that, she was great. And your guys' comments really did help me. It made me cry. I'm not gonna read them anymore, but they made me cry from Instagram, because many of you guys said that you were really sad that you didn't get to be around your baby in their last moments. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm lucky that I got to take care of Yoshi when she was a baby and I got to watch her leave the world. She is such a little diva and we miss her a lot. Like all the things that I complained about with Yoshi, her pug screams, her sneezing all over me, her coughing all over me, her very dank farts. I miss her incessant deep breathing while I'm trying to edit and she wants to breathe so heavy so that I feed her something and she won't stop. All of it, I miss every single thing. But I thought I would let you guys know that Yoshi is looking at us. She's probably screaming at someone wherever she is that she needs food now. And even though I hated her farts, I deeply miss them a lot. And if you see me in public and I am crying, that's probably why. And if you come up to me and say you miss Yoshi, I will probably cry too. And it's fine, we can cry together. I don't mind crying in front of you. Anyway, I thought I would let you guys know she's been a huge part of my channel and I know a lot of you guys really like her, but we're all doing pretty good over here, especially me. But thank you so much for making my dog super special and leaving the comments, following her on Instagram. She was the one that loved the attention when you guys saw her in public. A lot of you guys have met her and she loves it. She loves the attention a lot. So I'm happy that I got to share most of her life with you because she's been on this channel ever since I started. So thank you so much. Hold all your dogs, hold all your furry friends, your scaly friends, your feathery friends, your kids, everyone super close, and just soak up every single moment. And I don't know what to say at the end of this, but thank you so much for being here, watching the whole video, and I will see you guys next time.